Greetings, everyone. It is I, Marshall Beaumont, once again. Hey, Dragoon, how you doing? Also, EA, say hello in chat earlier. But yeah, how is everyone? How has the week been for you so far? Been good. Hope it's been good for you. Hopefully, it's been a busy one over here. Lots of IRL crap getting in the way. I'll admit I might be yawning throughout the stream because, yeah. I didn't get much sleep last night either, but, also, hey, Keen, how you doing? Is this, Char from the dungeon reporting it? Right, yeah. I was the weird one on the Discord picking Basque Ohm, before everybody changed back. But, yeah, one moment, it's kind of warm in here. One moment. Come on. There we go. Apologies if you can hear the AC running. It's been schizophrenically, the temperature has been schizophrenic in my part of America, this week. Did I hear, hey, CJ, did I hear the recent news with Helldivers in the UN? Yes, I did. Yes, I did, and that's fucking hilarious. So while we're while we're yapping before we get into the main topic, so let's talk about how Arrowhead Studios fucked up. So apparently they've decided to go back on everything they said about what Helldivers is about and said, actually, you guys, Helldivers 2 is secretly a plot to show how easily gamers can become fascist by manipulating them into become fascist by making them fight for Super Earth in a video game. Okay. It's like, y'all motherfuckers know this is a game, right? It's like, no, that's what they said. That's what they said. They're like, hey, the game is actually a social experiment to see how easy it is to get gamers to become fascists. And it's like, okay, so you had us fight for okay. This is what I hate about pretentious game developers, because, okay, y'all remember fucking, what was it? What's that one where you're in Dubai and you're like in Dubai after a sandstorm destroys the city and it's all like post-apocalyptic and things are getting, crazier as you go along and you start getting crazier. What the hell game? Spec Ops: The Line, yeah. One moment. I'm gonna do some silly roleplay with the game I enjoy. Lol, we made you fashy derp. Haha, yeah, exactly. Hey, Daikaiju, how you doing? No, we're talking about how the lead dev of Arrowhead Studios said Helldivers 2 is secretly a social experiment to make you become a fascist to show how easily gamers can become fascists. But yeah, it reminds me of the lead dev for Spec Ops: The Line, and how he was all like, the whole point of the game that you, the player, not the main character, you as a person are the bad guy because you did all those horrible things, and then you burned those people with white phosphorus, and you killed all those innocent people, and this and that, and then someone told him, okay, but the game forced you to do those things. If you didn't want to beat the game, if you didn't do those things, you couldn't beat the game. To which the lead developer said, you could have turned the game off. So, yeah, no, this is like that. It's like, on the one hand, it's like, okay, you're making a game where the point of the game is to fight for Super Earth, and then you're saying players are bad people are bad people as people, not as characters, as people outside of the game for simply fulfilling the parameters of the game. That's the first fucked up thing. Second of all, this just falls into the classic misanthropy of, your average leftist artist, where it's like, oh, you fight to protect humanity against aliens that we owe nothing to in the first place. You're a bad person. It's like, bro, really? You're gonna pull that card? You're going to pull that card after it's been so thoroughly rejected by every normal human being that plays video games or watches movies or reads books or just enjoys media in general. Like, only the most self-hating misanthropes actually agree with that humanity is the bad guy actually bullshit. It was a social experiment, comes from Tumblr. Yeah, right. Like, why is the Arrowhead dev talking like a bad Jack Thompson impression, or is this the bad Anita Sarkeesian impression? Well, I don't know. Really, it really depends. But I mean, remember, the moment Anita Sarkeesian won, air quotes, with her quest to remove all, sexiness from video games, she immediately turned on video violence. Remember how she talked about, I think it was Doom 2016, and how it was far too violent and needed to be censored? Remember that? Nobody remembers that. But that was basically where her relevance died off. Because, listen, Americans are super weird in that they hate sexuality but love violence. But even the most ardently SJW woke leftist fucking game dev was not going to bite into was not going to, they weren't going to shit where they eat regarding violence in video games. They love violence in video games. It brings them money. And they shouldn't fuck with violence in video games. I mean, they shouldn't fuck with sexuality in video games either. But I mean, they're learning their lesson in that regard now. So the Arrowhead dev got themselves a blue hair septum ring having partner and went loony. Oh no, they've always been like that. That's been Arrowhead since the start. They're Swedes. I'm pretty certain Arrowhead is made up of Swedes, which should tell you all you need to know. Like, you ever see that footage that one video out there of a bunch of Swedish dudes shooting guns? The guy pulls the trigger once on an AR-15 and just starts crying. Like, yeah, like that. There are reasons why misanthropy, nihilism, and doomerism will never be taken seriously as an ideology. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, yeah. It's like the meme about how you deal with a nihilist. The best way, a moral nihilist. The best way to deal with a moral nihilist is just to, well, delete them, because I mean, they don't. It's like that is their entire that's their entire ideology. It doesn't matter if I die. I do not care, etc., etc. I am meaningless. Everything I do is meaningless. There is no point to my existence. It's like. Oh, and it's always funny, too, because that is exactly what, Nietzsche, I can never pronounce his fucking name right, didn't want to say. He was trying to say that even in a world where God is no longer believed in, you matter. You matter. The things you do matter. But, nihilists are all like, nothing I do matters. It's like, Nietzsche would be rolling in his grave, dude. Seriously. Speaking of sex and violence, have you played Beyond Citadel? Never been more horrified and disseminated at the same time. That is not my kind of game, honestly. Like, look, I don't mind some titties in my game and all that stuff, but that's a level of extreme violence that I will personally not take part in. But at the same time, it's not for me. But it's okay that it exists. Because, I'm a normal person, and I am okay with fiction that I don't like existing. I mean, if the fiction is badly written, I'll lampoon the hell out of it, but it can exist. You're just not guaranteed to not, you're just not, I wouldn't say guaranteed, you're not entitled to an audience. Looking at you, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and you hilariously racist developers that you guys have. Oh man, have you seen that? Have you seen the stuff? Have you seen the footage out of Assassin's Creed Shadows since it leaked? Like, it is legitimately like some of the most racist shit against the Japanese I have ever seen. Like the fucking NPCs you talking to are literally doing the most stereotypical white dude doing a mock Japanese accents imaginable. I'm half expecting one of them to say, "Oh, you like fried rice? Oh, fried rice, yes. Red Stepa, very tasty. Like, dude, you're calling the people shitting on your game racist. Just, bro, what the hell? Oh, and also the fact that apparently Yasuke bones Nobunaga's sister. And then also apparently he bones one of the famous samurai who fought under Nobunaga, a man who was married, had a wife and had children. So look, I'm just gonna put it out there, like 100% honesty with y'all. And this is something I've said before on Twitter. I'm saying it again here. Assassin's Creed Shadows is just some really weird person at Ubisoft's anti-Japanese black racial domination kink. That's really all it is. This is their fucking, like, this is their kink, and they're forcing you to experience it. They're forcing you to live their kink vicariously through a video game. That's what Assassin's Creed Shadows is. There is no other explanation. It really is not. Ubisoft is the reason why people hate the French. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, the fact that, you know, America is the reason they don't speak German and they're so fucking ungrateful is another good reason. I mean, like, real talk now. It's like, hey, France, where were you? Where were you guys when the Maginot Line failed? Oh, right, you gave up to the Germans immediately. You just fucking quit. And then British lives, you know, paid for it at fucking Dunkirk, and then we had to come bail your ass out. And then you still push the idea that Americans didn't actually help in World War II, and that it was actually the Russians. Like, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, France. And you too, Quebec. You're no better. You're worse than the French. You're not French, and you're pretending to be French. Why would you pretend to be French? I feel kind of bad for, like, you know, the Quebecers who I've met who are, like, decent people who hate their country. Like, they're all just like, God, I hate it here. It's like, yeah, it's like, I'm so sorry for you that you have to live in Quebec with Quebecers who like being Quebec. Quebecy. Quebekistan? I don't fucking know. But, yeah, like, Jesus. I've hated the French for way longer than Ubisoft's been around. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I haven't liked the French ever since I found out about World War II versus how they, you know, treat us now in the modern day. France, much like Britain these days, is on top of that, you know, on top of that thing where it's like, you know, America pulls all aid from Ukraine and then decides to negotiate, you know, a peace deal. And they're like, you don't have the right to not, you know, fight an endless forever war and forever funnel your economy into it to the point of collapse, you know, to keep the war going and to make sure innocent Ukrainians are killed further. You know, like they'll say that, but then the Houthis, you know, those Houthi terrorists, and I don't even know if it's pronounced Houthi or whatever, you know, in fucking Yemen, are shooting ballistic missiles at American boats for damn near a year. So we finally decide to lay the law down and start blowing them up to get them out of our hair. And then all of a sudden they're like, you're not allowed to do that. It's brutality. You're not allowed to fight wars and protect you. You're not allowed to protect your interests abroad. You know, but bring up pulling out of Ukraine though, and they'll start frothing at the mouth about that. How we gotta ruin our economy to prop up a fascist dictatorship because that's the one that's apparently the good guy in the war. Don't get me started on that shit. But, you know, real talk, I've been trying not to talk about Ukraine on stream, but I'm so unbelievably sick of Ukraine that I'm just sick of not talking about it. I'm sick of not shitting on it. And that's a sad thing too. When the war started, I was sympathetic to Ukraine. I wanted them to win. I wanted them to push Russia out. I thought Zelensky was a good dude. I thought he was doing all right. And then the worst thing possible happened was I got hit with apathy. Like seriously. I just became apathetic to the whole thing because it's like, it's very clear that Zelensky knows he can't win, but nonstop funding from America is just his monthly tugboat. So he's just like, okay, I'll just keep the war going because I get fucking infinite money from the United States. fuck my people. I'm getting paid. So yeah, I have no more sympathy for them. I'm no longer afraid to admit it. I do not care. I do not care. I just want the fucking war to end, and I want him to be kicked out of the country for what he's done to it, and a real president elected in that nation. But Bo, the Houthis are just the Houthis are just like, Anne Frank, you chud. Hey, listen, I'm pretty certain Anne Frank wasn't launching ballistic missiles at American boats and shipping boats crossing through the Red Sea for no other reason than because fuck you, that's why, okay? I'm pretty certain Anne Frank was the victim of an actual fascist dictatorship and not a bunch of jumped up terrorists living in sand dunes with ballistic missiles they don't know what the fuck to do with, so they decided to pick a fight, and now things are getting proportional over there, and it's their damn fault, okay? I have no sympathy for the Houthi terrorists at all. Also, hey, C-Dat, how you doing? Oh man, but yeah. So what the fuck else has been going on in the world other than, let's see, Houthis getting blown up, Europe being hypocrites, Assassin's Creed Shadows being the laughing stock of the gaming world. That was probably some shit I commented on. Oh yeah, there was a motherfucker who the other day trying to do the whole, what was it? Fallout is about critique of capitalism, and then you point out the original creator saying, actually no, it's about the inevitable factor of war and human nature, and then he's like, death of the author, and it's like, fuck your death of the author. That's what the author said, and that's what you have to acknowledge that it's about. I do not give a shit about your fan fiction anymore. Just saw the Helldivers news. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Hey, Frog on Pod. Overall down spiral. Man, people on the left just be spiraling left and right, especially Europe. Grum's got blacked. Gotcha, what are you talking about? Grum's got blacked. You're gonna need to elaborate there, Holmes, okay?
All call signs, check in.
Oh, I see that. Thank you for the resubscription. Thank you for the resubscription, man. Yeah, but no, this dude saying like what is he, like a guy, like he's a guy follow on a guy follow on Twitter. He's a VTuber named Kritosis. He hates the new Fallout. He hates the new Fallout, and I don't fucking blame him. And he was shitting on, he was shitting on the state of Fallout, and this dude just responds, Fallout is actually about, a critique of capitalism. And then I post, the quote from the creator that it's not, and the guy posts out the creator says, it's okay if you interpret Fallout however you want, but that's some gotcha. And it's like, yeah, you can interpret art the way you want, but your interpretation is literally just fan fiction that takes a back seat to the word of the creator. The word of the creator is God and king in the discussion of fiction. Your interpretation is just a neat little headcanon that you get to keep to yourself, but it's like a goldfish. If it leaves the bowl that is your mind, it's going to die. Because an interpretation dies the moment there is no longer consensus on the interpretation. This is writing 101, you dumbass. Grums and Airbag are both stupid. Yeah. I mean, look, I follow Grums. Grums follows me. He makes a lot of good points. He says a lot of stupid shit. I wish he'd work on his game. But Airbag is still infinitely worse. Grums doesn't call for violence. Airbag did. And I'm glad Airbag got all of his alts permabanned, and then he moved over to Blue Sky where he belongs. Kritosis and Patricia did some good vids on the writer for Fallout. Some dude named Emil. Oh, Patricia. Yeah. No, Kritosis is cool people. I like him. I like him. He's very much on point about the state of Fallout, and watching people cope and seethe about it is like fucking hilarious, because it's all people who got into Fallout with fuck, I wouldn't even say Fallout 4. They got into that stupid ass TV show that tried to say, The bombs were dropped by the American corporations to win the game of capitalism by blowing up all their customers. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck? Like it is literally canon that the Chinese fired the first shots. They started the war. This is canon. That TV show will forever be fan fiction. That and the fact that, they blew up Shady Sands and killed off the NCR off screen. Like, fuck yourself. That's all I'll say about that. Remember Furtanga simp for Airbag? I followed Furtanga for like a couple of days and then watched him fucking spiral, and I was just like, nah, fuck this shit. Like, and then I blocked him. He's worthless. Like, that's all I have to say about Furtanga. Fallout went from people carrying on from the devastation of war with Fallout 2 back to the complete nihilism and misanthropy. You know what? You really are right, because the whole deal was that the world by the time of Fallout 2 was rebuilding. And then you get to Fallout 3, which is a sequel further down the timeline, and Bethesda was just unable to comprehend that the point of Fallout. So they made everything on the East Coast this nuked, miserable desert wasteland where you can't even get fresh water anymore. It's like, that's not what the fuck Fallout was about. Like, holy shit. Like, I had a great time playing, when I was younger, I had a great time playing modded Fallout 3, but even then, I recognized Bethesda missed the fucking point, and then they missed it even fucking harder in 4. And even harder than that in New Vegas. And then even harder than that in the TV show. Just every new Fallout entry is a bigger spiral down into the suffering vortex of the absolute state of Fallout with each entry. In your opinion, Grums talks way too much and makes me think the nerd emoji most of the time when I see him? You tell me, yeah, it's like I said, Grums will say stupid shit, but honestly, he's harmless. Like, look, everybody says stupid shit on the internet. I say stupid shit on the internet. There's a bunch of really obsessed weirdos who hold the stupid shit I say on the internet in such high esteem that they can't stop thinking about me. But I fully admit I'm saying stupid shit on the internet. Sometimes I'll retract my stupid shit on the internet because I'll look back at what I said and was like, wow, that was fucking stupid. So, I just think it's funny, people hold my opinion to a way higher esteem than I certainly do. Like a way higher esteem or to a higher degree of all-consuming rent-free obsession. I mean, I fully acknowledge I'm a fucking idiot, okay? But I mean, look, if people want to hang on my word that much, like to the point of obsession where I'm all they think about, I mean, hey, that's fine. It's kind of one of the things that spurred on today's stream, sort of getting into the overall topic of what the stream is going to be about. That is, I apparently found out that, so I found out through the grapevine that apparently, there's that portion of, every fandom on Twitter has that portion of it. You know what I mean by that portion of it, air quotes. And I found out that apparently that portion of the Gundam fandom is now getting apparently terrified that I'm getting big into Gundam because they know of me from Warhammer. So they're apparently absolutely shitting their pants and telling people to block me. Like, so that's fucking hilarious. But I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how, well, I mean, there's clearly a course to take now. There's clearly a path to follow if I'm going to be, the number one enemy of the woke leftist side of Gundam Twitter. And that's to get as many right-wing chuds as humanly possible into Mobile Suit Gundam. Like, get them into the conversation. Get them talking about it. I mean, like, it's the Warhammer guy, someone in Gundam. Yeah, exactly. Apparently there's this one dude in the Gundam community, air quotes, on Twitter. He's part of the woke side of it. He's this guy named Delty. Apparently he found out I know some stuff about Gundam a while back and got super fucking triggered and tried to, like, get, air quotes, get more woke people into Warhammer to try to, like, push me out. And it's like, Buddy, I don't even know who the fuck you are. All I know is you obsess with pretending you're the one kid from Build Fighters with the hot mom. So, yeah. Like, man, I'm kind of glad I don't know much about Gundam Twitter, honestly, because I don't know. I feel less inclined to disagree with idiots who have idiotic opinions about Gundam on Gundam Twitter. I will say though, it is a little free. It is kind of freeing that way compared to, you know, Warhammer Twitter, where you constantly have to deal with, you know, the woke weirdos and the Twitter freaks having like the worst fucking takes humanly possible on Warhammer. And, you know, it also helps that Gundam is Japanese and basically Bamco is completely uninterested in pandering to the wokes and just doing Gundam like they've always done Gundam. Like, that really does help, you know. You know, that really does help, like, needing to counter the weirdos on Gundam Twitter versus, like, say, Warhammer. No, I mean, not that the battle for wokeness in Warhammer is, you know, is basically over. Like the woke tourists have lost interest already in Warhammer. They're basically gone. And this is something I was saying the other day, which was, when it comes to, you know, Warhammer getting ruined, because let's not, you know, let's not beat around the bush here. Warhammer is getting worse. But the thing that people need to accept, it's not some conspiracy. It's not some BlackRock-led conspiracy. It's not being done by Amazon. It's just Games Workshop being incompetent. It's not from DEI money. It's not from Amazon telling Games Workshop how they have to handle Warhammer if they want the Amazon deal. It's just Games Workshop being Games Workshop. They're just being stupid. They're just being incompetent. They just don't understand their own audience. They have never understood their own audience. Games Workshop has been like that since their inception. The idea that, you know, Games Workshop is somehow accepting DEI checks to ruin Warhammer just isn't a thing. And people just need to accept this. Games Workshop is ruining Warhammer because that's what they like to do. That is the one thing they're good at. Games Workshop isn't in a position where they are because they're good at making Warhammer. They're in a position where they are because they're basically uncontested in the tabletop market. And they're scratching and clawing like someone trapped in a quicksand pit to get, you know, that wider cultural relevance of something like, say, Star Wars, which is why they're doing the Amazon deal, why they're doing video games. They want to be the next Lucasfilm. And it's so sad because, you know, because Warhammer has reached a point where, honestly, I feel the people making the third-party content know Warhammer better than Games Workshop. That's why Space Marine 2 was so good. GW is British, so they can't help but go woke and hurt themselves. I mean, yeah. What's this? There's this guy, Ruga Rabid, who made a really trash video on the Monsterverse on 6 ways to improve it and trying to paint it as a typical Hollywood trash. He's a tourist. I'll have to give that a look later, Megaman. Kia will be out of a job the minute Warhammer regains strength and Trench Crusade goes extinct. I mean, yeah, Trench Crusade's never going to take off. It simply never is. The devs are not capable of actually appealing to, appealing to the right-wing audience, who is the primary audience of tabletop gaming. And that's funny. Gundam Assemble cannot come out fast enough. Yeah, no, next year, dude. Next year. And they're going to be dropping the first models, though, in July with the Gundam card game release. I can see why they put Gundam Assemble back a year if they're releasing a card game as well. They don't want the two releases to overshadow each other. So I can understand that, but they're releasing preview models in the July release of the card game. I'm probably going to pick up the Federation and Xeon sets just to get the minis. Like, real talk. Oh, excuse me. GW in general, IPs and everything is just slowly going into the dumpster because of the inability to understand the most basic fans. I will say this much on that Immospect. I think other franchises stand a chance of being salvaged. Some more than others. Like this is something I've gone on about before. I think a lot of franchises actually stand a chance of pulling themselves out of the gutter, like the woke gutter that a lot of things have been stuck in. Simply because, they were doing it for a DEI check. And those aren't going out anymore. Do not misunderstand me. USAID was the reason all this was happening. And USAID is sure, federal judges are trying to say, Trump, you have to keep USAID going. And Trump has adopted the policy of, okay, you've ruled I can't do anything. Now enforce it. Which is based. But yeah, so, USAID isn't paying him anymore. BlackRock isn't getting the money in order to push this shit anymore. Some settings are going to be fixed. The problem is, of course, is that you're also dealing with a lot of lefty creators who are fucking stupid and don't know how to recover or don't want to recover. Those settings will die. I'll be honest, settings I think will recover one day will be I think Star Wars is going to be one of them. I think Star Wars will recover. I generally think superheroes will recover one day. I think there might be some dark days ahead for them where there's either no new content period or releases are small because it's all they can afford to publish. But I think they will rebound. I don't think D&D is going to recover unless somebody buys out Wizards of the Coast. I think Magic the Gathering might recover just because that's Hasbro's moneymaker, and they are absolutely going to, course correct to keep their moneymaker going. What else? As much as I hate to say it, I genuinely don't think Warhammer is going to recover unless somebody buys out Games Workshop. Games Workshop is just too incompetent to keep running Warhammer. No, Mega Man, I'm not worried about Bridge. I highly appreciate what Hirsch does looking at Bridge. The problem with Bridge is the problem I've said is before. Bridge requires a world where DEI worked flawlessly in order to exist. It didn't do that. And now the plug has been pulled on all their funding, which is an even bigger blow to it. Maybe Battletech one day. Battletech will recover, but it's going to take pulling the license away from Catalyst Game Labs and giving it to somebody else. It's going to take that to fix Battletech. But I think Battletech can be fixed. Pathfinder is kind of held up by the fact that it's, unlike D&D, it is a much better game mechanically than D&D, and that kind of protects it. And it's a little different from the stuff like what D&D is doing with the tactical combat wheelchair. Apparently we need wheelchairs and wheelchair accessible dungeons and Dungeons and Dragons when there are basic healing spells that could repair paralysis and all that stuff. I've seen somebody I follow on Twitter talking about how not every magical or technological setting will necessarily have an answer to, crippling disability. And that's true. For some, those settings, the answers are actually hilarious. We're watching Fate Stay Night on the, what did Trash Taste do now? We'll get to that. Don't worry. We're just yapping for now. We're going to be switching over soon. But I just want to cover this topic real quick, which is, the disability and magic in settings. If you're creating a setting where, depending on, say, the attitude of and ability of magic users in your setting, well, this applies to technology as well. The idea of having people who live in wheelchairs becomes increasingly unlikely and increasingly hard to support. On our Discord server right now, we're watching the Fate Stay Night adaptations. The Studio Dean anime, it's good. Fight me. Unlimited Blade Works and Fate Zero, and we're finishing it up this weekend on Saturday. We're on the last Heaven's Feel movie, and that's a kind of setting where there is healing magic, but a person being trapped in a wheelchair for their entire life, still makes sense. Because on the one hand, most people will not encounter a mage or know they encountered a mage in their entire life because mages operate in utmost secrecy. And then again, there are also mages who will be crippled because even if mages have access to really good healing magic, there's a very simple fact where it's called the Nasuverse because it's a Nasu, he's the guy who created it all. In the Nasuverse, mages are assholes. A mage would probably see a child who is paralyzed from the waist down and not give a flying fuck because most mages are assholes and sociopaths and they don't give a shit. So yeah, there it makes sense, but in a setting like Dungeons and Dragons where you've got healing magic, where the basic healing magic can repair grievous injuries that can leave you crippled for life, like a broken spine or something like that, and you don't have that, you don't account for that, and have the idea of a combat wheelchair, you are flying in the face of your own setting's logic. The logic of your setting means everything, and if you're not following that logic, you're just destroying all believability, because people seem to think believability is in realism and practicality. But you see, that's the wrong realism to focus on. The realism you have to focus on is how people act and how things are consistent. That is the realism that matters and lets settings function. Add wheelchair, draw them like a furry fetish fat corn. Man, I think the funniest one is the picture of the thief in the wheelchair, the tiefling thief in the wheelchair, and of course it's a fucking tiefling. If I ever DM'd a game of D&D, I would ban all tieflings. No tieflings. We're not having tieflings. I'd rather have your OC Donut Steel Drow than a fucking tiefling at my table, okay? But it's the picture of the tiefling rogue in the wheelchair brandishing a dagger. It's just push him over. Just push him over and walk away. It's you don't even need to kill him. Just push him over. Push him over, break his wheelchair, and walk away. He's fucked. It's really not... They really don't think about it. They don't think about how it would actually work. And they just end up fetishizing disability. Because that's really what it is at the end of the day. They fetishize disability. That's what it is. It's a fetish for them, and it's frankly kind of disgusting actually when you really think about it. You forgot one other major point in the Nasuverse: magic has faded away due to the death of mystery. If you reveal magic to the public, their magic will die off. That's real quick before we move on to the Gundam thing. That is actually one of the best parts about the world building and the magic system in the Nasuverse. It's like the classic urban fantasy conundrum. If mages are so all powerful, why don't they take over the world? It's literally because if magic became in the Nasuverse, it's literally because if magic became well known, magic would die. Because the more people know about magic, the more it dies out. Oh, that was oh, hey Chonka, how you doing? How you doing, man? But yeah, like magic in the Nasuverse gets weaker the more people know about it, and there's actual tangible apocalyptic consequences if magic dies out. That's the funniest part on top of it. Farron is one of your favorite current fantasy settings. We're slowly working our way toward that on anime nights. So yeah, we will be watching that on the Discord. Just dangling upside down to the stealth. Nice. But all right, everyone. So, we're going to get into the meat of the stream right now, and that is, well, okay, okay. So let me elaborate. Last time we did this, that was the Overly Sarcastic Productions video. We watched the video, and then did commentary on the video in the middle of it and commentary afterwards and all that stuff. Well, I'm doing it backwards this time. Okay, so I kind of do want to inform people with this on how to get into Mobile Suit Gundam, but I figure throwing the Trash Taste video up first would just add confusion, and I don't want to do that. I actually want to inform people here. So with that in mind, we're going to get into the first half of this part of the stream, which is going to be about, how to get into Mobile Suit Gundam. Okay, so you want to watch Mobile Suit Gundam? I will admit, making photoshops for streams has led me to places I wouldn't go with a gun. But yeah, so I'm pretty certain, like, everybody watching this who wants to know about Gundam knows the basics of Gundam. That it's like, it is a science fiction anime series about giant robots, fighting wars, people dying, colonies getting dropped on Earth, all that fun stuff. So I'm guessing if you want to get into watching Mobile Suit Gundam, you know some of the basics about the basics of the basics about what Gundam is, and that's why you're here. So, taking that into account. But essentially, what it boils down to is a lot of people get confused about how to watch Gundam. It's a lot less complicated than you might think, and unfortunately, anime YouTubers tend to be fucking idiots and always recommend things in the most confusing manners possible. So, I'm gonna give you the step by before we get into shitting on Trash Taste. I'm gonna give you the step-by-step guide on how to get into Gundam. Is that Quattro? No, that's Char. That was Char. But right. So you want to watch Gundam. There's two ways to watch Gundam, and how you will watch it depends on the answer you give here. Do you want a long-running, overarching narrative, or do you want a single or short series you can just jump into without needing to watch a long-ass list of animes? If you want the former, if you want a long-running, overarching narrative, you want my personal favorite. You want Universal Century Gundam. If you want the single or short series you can just jump into, no preamble, you want alternate universe Gundam. Now for a little bit of elaboration. I'll elaborate on the separation between the two. What is Universal Century Gundam? Basically what it is a sci-fi setting set in the year 0079 of the Universal Century calendar, which is based on some lore tidbits, comes out roughly to the year 2242 AD. Covers about 150 years and has two ladder entries that are far in the future, but are still part of the overall timeline despite the calendar changing. It's basically it covers a broad series of themes about war, heroism, human condition, speculates on the evolution of humanity and technology relevant to that evolution. It is a semi-hard science fiction series that's got sprinklings of fantastic elements, like things that fly in the face of our modern scientific understanding. For those who don't know, hard science fiction is the opposite of soft science fiction. Hard science fiction is something like, say, something like The Expanse or Rendezvous with Rama, where, things like that, where it generally tries to obey scientific rules, but more often than not, ones made for pure entertainment will have a little bit of things in there, a couple things in there that let them break physics for the sake of entertainment. Gundam is like that. It has a few things in there that will break physics for the sake of entertainment, but overall, it follows general concepts of scientific accuracy. It covers as a major world-building element the influence of the arrival of giant battle mechs on the battlefield. In the setting, they're called mobile suits. It's also an extremely dark and violent setting, but is also at the end of the day hopeful, and that, you know, no matter how bad things get, you can there's still a better tomorrow on the way. It's what I would call noble dark, as opposed to, like, say 40K's grim dark. Also, mecha are cool. Like, who the fuck doesn't like mecha? Like, seriously, what would actually be wrong with you if you liked mecha? So, that's the overview of Universal Century. Then there's Alternate Universe Gundam. I will preamble this with one very important point. Alternate Universe Gundam borrows the concept of Gundams, which are the titular, like, hero mobile suits of the setting. It has nothing to do with Universal Century. These are their own settings. These are separate settings, like, from Universal Century. The idea behind the AU Gundams is that, you know, the creators of Gundam wanted to explore new story ideas in different settings, separate from the Universal Century. There's only a single AU Gundam that is in Universal Century, but it's an alternate timeline to the main one, so it is still an AU Gundam. It retains many of the core themes, but are told differently, like different characters, different histories. The idea of the Gundam mobile suits themselves is really one of the only connecting factors, and generally speaking, the origins of Gundams as machines are different in these. They can be similar in tone to Universal Century Gundam, or they can get pretty fucking wacky. Like, one of them is literally mecha that throw fucking Kamehamehas and Hadokens at each other fighting martial arts tournaments. Or one of them is just Yu-Gi-Oh, but rather than, you know, a children's card game, it's Gundam model kits. It's like, basically the writers get to go hog wild with ideas. That's the whole point. I will also say, despite Universal Century being my favorite, I do not believe there's an overall quality difference between Universal Century and Alternate Universe Gundams. Both are just as good as each other, and both are just as entertaining. So, which one you get into, you're not really having a lesser experience for it. I would also say, though, the existence of the AU Gundams is what causes all the confusion. Because people will watch, like, say, Gundam Wing and be like, how does this relate to Zeta Gundam, when the two are unrelated? So, yeah, the existence of the AU Gundams does cause some confusion. And I think that's the thing that a lot of anime YouTubers fail to address. And also, once again, mecha are just fucking cool. Like, who doesn't like mecha? Again. In relation to this, I am offering the following for people to check out. I posted this on Twitter earlier today. There's another image you're going to get. This is the watch order. This is the chronological watch order for Universal Century Gundam. All of these series, they are not in release order, but this is the order in which they take place in the chronological timeline of the Universal Century. There's a few I left out. Like, for example, I left out, there's one called MS Igloo 2, The Gravity Front, that I left out because it's just not good. There's a Netflix slop CGI series that's unbelievably awful. I decided not to even put it, like, it's a Netflix made it themselves with Sunrise's Blessing. Sunrise is the company that makes Gundam. It was awful. It is a baffling series to watch. I will not recommend it whatsoever. I won't even mention its name. But yeah, like, or another thing, like another thing to note, like, one of the series, Zeta Gundam, has a movie trilogy recut. Do not watch it. It changes the ending to one that does not gel with the rest of it doesn't gel canonically with the rest of the timeline. But generally speaking, this series of animes in this order this is Universal Century Gundam. Like, if you're going to watch UC Gundam, you should watch them in this order. And I would say I know I left a note of it up here at the top, is that the prequel OVA, Gundam the Origin, is honestly best, you know, if you want to watch it first, that's fine. If you want to watch it second to avoid certain spoilers, that's fine too. It's generally down to preference. But, you know, if you want to like take a screen cap of this or check my Twitter out for what I posted earlier today. This is the timeline for Universal Century Gundam. This collection of series is here. You were tempted to watch that Netflix show, then I saw the trailer and said no thanks. Yeah, exactly. You like to compare AU Gundam series to how Final Fantasy works. That's actually pretty apt. That's pretty apt. So, with Universal Century covered, here are the AU Gundams. These are the alternate universe Gundam series. Now, these are listed differently because unless it is a direct follow-up to another AU Gundam, they're listed after each other in this case, then these series are all independent of one another and independent of Universal Century. You could pick any one of these up, and you could pick any single one of these up and have an enjoyable viewing experience. I mean, there's some of these I don't like, but all the same, you might like when I don't. Tastes vary, but generally speaking, you can pick up G Fighter or X or Seed or 00 or Age by themselves with no prior experience watching Gundam and generally, enjoy it. You don't have to know anything about Gundam going into it. So I've listed these in such a way that, like, say, if it's a series with a sequel series, like say Gundam Seed has Seed Destiny and then Seed Freedom, which is a movie follow-up, or the Gundam Wing and its OVA follow-up Endless Waltz, or Gundam 00 and its movie follow-up Awakening of the Trailblazer, then those are listed in the order to watch them. But any one of these you can just hop into. You don't need to know anything about Gundam. Just like, generally speaking, with Universal Century, if you're hopping in chronologically, you don't need to know anything about Gundam. It will tell you everything you need to know as you watch it. And that's generally it. That's generally the thing the easiest way to tell people to get into Gundam. It's really that simple. Like, it is literally the most simple way possible, which is episode 1, bro. Like, I really hate that about a lot of anime YouTubers, if I'm being honest, because, hold on. Mouth is dried out from all the yapping. That's generally something I really don't like about anime YouTubers. Whenever they try to recommend an anime, they all like an anime with like a history to it. They always recommend it in the most confusing and convoluted way possible. I really don't like that, and I don't know if I'm gonna recommend things for people, like people to get into something, something I'm passionate about. I want to recommend it in the way that's gonna, ease them in the most. I'm not gonna say read the visual novel, then the version of the manga adaptation published by this guy, and then watch the third anime. I'm not gonna do that. And generally speaking, what you've just seen, yeah, that's the easiest way to get into Gundam. Universal Century, from Universal Century chronological order, starting with either the origin first, or the original Gundam series first, matter of preference, or just grab an AU Gundam and go to town. Like, yeah, it's that simple. And people really try to make it more confusing than it really is. Gundam is easy to get into. No Turn A or Reconquista mentioned. I did. They were in UC because they're the future of the Universal Century. That's why they weren't in the AU section. Trash Taste is literally that. Yeah, it is. But yeah, that's that was what is it? 00 was my first, saw it on Sci-Fi. Season 2, episode 13, Assault on Memento Mori. Yeah, that episode was awesome. But now that we've done that, we're going to watch the Trash Taste video. Again, I wanted to watch the Trash Taste video second because, frankly, I didn't want to confuse, watch that, have people be all confused, and then go through how to get into Gundam. Because, yeah, that's just going to make things worse for people watching, and I don't want to do that. So with that in mind, we're gonna hold on. I'm gonna shut down the stream music. And yeah, for the record, I have actually not watched this video at all. But, you know, I mean, listen, like, look at the title. Look at the title down there. The Gundam series is impossible to start. I mean, based on what I told you just now, is it really impossible to start? Or are anime tourists, you know, just like, or do anime tourists just really love to overcomplicate, you know, the anime they watch to try to sound smarter than they actually are? All right, so this isn't as long. Wait, how long was the OSP video? I think it was like 14 minutes or something. This is only 11 minutes, so this shouldn't take as long. So yeah, we're gonna crank the volume, and we're gonna get, hold on. It's not hard to start at all. Yeah, exactly. Like, literally, episode 1, bro. Universal Century or AU, episode 1. Just go. Most YouTubers consider Reconquista and Turn A as separate from UC. Oh no, they are confirmed to be in the Universal Century, but after a calendar change. Like, from what I understand, Sunrise puts Reconquista 1,000 years after G Savior, and then Turn A is 2,000 years after that. But yeah, no, YouTubers, those are not AU Gundams. That's why I didn't list them as AU Gundams. The original Mobile Suit Gundam series is on YouTube right now for free. You can watch it right now. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. Like, what is it? Gundam.info YouTube channel has the original series, and I think a couple of AUs as well up for watch if you want to give Gundam a go. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get this video going. Let's see what kind of awful takes they have.
One other anime I want to talk about,
Yes.
which I think is being, holy shit, so underappreciated right now, is the new Gundam.
They've immediately lost me because woke Twitter would not shut the fuck up about Witch from Mercury. Like, I want to point this out to you guys. No one would shut the fuck up about Witch from Mercury. Witch from Mercury, in my opinion, is a perfectly mid Gundam anime. It is not special in any regard. I think it leans a little too hard on aping some of UC Gundam in various places. It basically rips off part of Unicorn toward the end. It's not bad. It's not good. It is perfectly mid. It is one of the Gundams of all time. But to say people were underappreciating it, it is not being underappreciated. It was not underappreciated in the fucking West. Twitter wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. But yeah, okay. If we're gonna pause every few seconds, we're gonna be in trouble, so let's keep going.
Oh, okay.
The new, it's weird seeing just the dichotomy between how popular and how well advertised it is here in Japan, and just how underwatched it is with like Western audiences. You go to like
people are scared of Gundam.
Yeah, you go.
Okay, funny that. I'm under the impression that Witch from Mercury actually underperformed in Japan, and it underperformed in Japan and America. But to say it underperformed in both, but to say it was unappreciated is just absolutely asinine. Like the people who, like, it attracted a certain side of Twitter, which was, based on how Witch from Mercury ended, is hilarious. But it was not underappreciated at all in the West.
Go to like the My Anime List page and you scroll down of like all of like the fall anime seasons, and Gundam's like right near the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the fuck is a show this good that's delivering this hard that close to the bottom in terms of like popularity?
Yeah, it's.
Well, I mean, because to answer that question for him, as a Gundam, it really wasn't anything special. that's really it. It didn't really it didn't really do much of anything to actually differentiate itself other than having a female protagonist. There's actually been fun little bit of Gundam lore here. There's an old wives' tale out there that so the main character, this is a bit of I just want to relay this. The main character of Turn A Gundam, Loran, he is to call him a femboy protagonist would be make me the mother of all understatement, but there's this old wives' tale that the reason he's a femboy character is because Tamino wanted a female protagonist, and the CEO of the company told him there will never be a female main character in Mobile Suit Gundam. So he made Loran a femboy character who cross-dresses several times in the series as like a form of like subtle revenge. That is not true. That is not a true story at all. I remember there was the argument that Witch from Mercury was woke because it had a female protagonist. There has never been and because like there was supposed to be a rule against it happening, there was never a rule saying there would never be a female main character in Gundam. So yeah, that's just some clearing of the air I want to make. Witch from Mercury having a female character was just, there was going to be a female main character in Gundam eventually. Like there was never a rule against it by the higher ups in Sunrise. G-Rich was stuck in school too much and not enough more interesting outside world. Yeah, exactly. It suffers. It has the Elysium problem where the world they build is like more interesting, but ultimately mismanaged than the actual story they tell. Loran was generic white boy number 63. Loran was literally brown. Loran literally can't be generic white boy number 63. He's not white. His hair's white, but the rest of him ain't. But right, so let's keep going.
Weird, right? Because like I think for a lot of people, Gundam is just like this thing that's been around for fucking almost half a century at this point, right?
It's intimidating.
It's super intimidating.
It's intimidating
right? Because like people know the name,
yeah,
but so few have actually sat down and like even watched half of the shit that's come out of the Gundam universe, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so like when you see a new Gundam,
I hope he's talking about the West, because Gundam is basically Japanese Star Wars. Like, if we're comparing, popularity and, cultural relevance and cultural endurance and being part of the zeitgeist and all that, Gundam is Japan's equivalent of Star Wars in that regard. Star Wars when it mattered. So yeah. Never had a female protagonist in Gundam. If we count the games, we have Code Fairy, all-woman squad. Yeah, exactly.
Immediately you just think, oh, well, I do want to watch it. It looks cool, but that would mean I have to go all the way back and watch everything.
And
right?
obviously you don't have to, right?
You don't have to. No, absolutely not.
But it's kind of like, so there's, I'm gonna sound like that person again.
Oh,
so there's like there's like several different timelines in Gundam, and so there's one main timeline that's kind of like the MCU, where it goes.
They compared a long-running franchise with interconnected continuity to the MCU. Everybody take a shot. Ugh. Fuck. Ugh. That wasn't actually alcohol, but the sentiment remains.
Goes all the
like
way.
Fate.
Yeah, kind of, except things are in chronological order, right?
Yeah.
So it goes, and that timeline goes all the.
Okay. I need to stop again here. You heard they brought up Fate, and they're like, but Gundam is in chronological order. I mean, all right, okay. There's a chronological order. There's a chronological order to Universal Century Gundam. Ooh, but it didn't release in chronological order. That's the thing. He's like, Gundam is Gundam released in chronological order. No, it fucking didn't. Like the prequel to the original Mobile Suit Gundam released in like, when the fuck did the Origin OVA come out? The Gundam the Origin OVA, the one about Char. Was it like something like somewhere between like 2018 and 2022, somewhere in that realm? when the original series came out in 1979, like the Zeta Gundam, the OVA that's the prequel to Zeta Gundam, which is 0083 Stardust Memory, didn't come out until like the 90s when Zeta came out in the early 80s. Like, Gundam did not release in chronological order, not even close. That's why people assembled a chronological watch order for getting into UC. 2015? Yeah. I knew it was somewhere in that ballpark, you know? Leave it to the guys who are misinformed about Fate to misinform about Gundam. Yeah. It's kind of funny too, because like Gigook is like one of the few people who actually called out how stupid Western Fate fans are about trying to get people into Fate, but now he's fucking up Gundam this hard. Like, he's one of the people that called out the whole don't watch the Studio Dean anime. Read the first route of the visual novel. It's like, yeah, like that's one of the things I was talking about. It's like, just watch it. Like, quick aside, if you want to get into Fate Stay Night and people say don't watch the Studio Dean anime, read the first route of the visual novel and then watch the other animes, don't listen to them. Just watch the Studio Dean anime. It's actually good. Japan thinks it's good. The reason we're never getting another adaptation of the Fate route as an anime is because Nasu actually likes the adaptation that Studio Dean put out. Japan likes the adaptation Studio Dean put out. It's not happening because it's not necessary. So just watch the Studio Dean anime first. It's fine. It's a perfectly good anime. But anyway, yeah, but then at the same time, them saying Fate is not in chronological order when the Fate anime is literally released in the order you're supposed to play the routes in the visual novel, i.e. chronological order. Like, oh my fucking God. Does something about becoming a YouTuber just make you stupid? Am I going to lose brain cells because I upload YouTube videos? Hey guys, do me a favor. If I ever get like this, if I ever start getting like these people or like overly sarcastic productions and shit, do me a favor and just cancel me. Like, cancel me on the internet so I can't make videos anymore. I would thank you. Tsukihime anime, meanwhile, is bad. Well, yeah, that one's bad, but you'll note that even the Japanese agree it's bad. So, like, yeah. Zero is a prequel. I mean, yeah. I genuinely think that Fate Zero should be watched between the Studio Dean Fate adaptation and Unlimited Blade Works, because Unlimited Blade Works is kind of made with the idea that you watched Fate Zero first. No, Bo, if you become an Anituber, I don't want to be. I don't want to become one. Believe me. Oh, I mean, if I would become one, my entire gimmick would be having actual good opinions. All right, so let's get back to watching this, or I'm just gonna end up ranting about the Fate and the Nasu verse for hours on end, and we're not here for that.
The way to the very, very first Gundam that was made in like 1970 or something, and I
1979. Yes, I will nitpick about that.
I haven't watched any of those Gundams because I'm that guy who wants to really immerse myself and know every little Easter egg and stuff like that. Right. So in order for me to enjoy some Gundams, like for example Gundam Unicorn or like
Thunderbolt,
Gundam Hathaway, I would need to go all the way back to the beginning to get the full appreciation of everything.
I'm gonna let him finish.
Going on. You don't need to. Like, I'm not saying you need to. This is a me thing, you know.
I've been trying for years.
Okay. So this is such an amazingly contradictory viewpoint for him to have. Like, he wants to immerse himself in it and understand everything, but he doesn't want to immerse himself in it and understand everything. Like, this is absolutely a tourist's attitude. It is completely asinine, the idea that you want to immerse yourself in this. You have this desire to immerse yourself in something, but you don't want to actually experience it, and that's why you don't do it. Like, the availability of anime is so unbelievably easy to get nowadays. through all methods, you know. Some I can't mention, but it's like, it's so easy to get a hold of. All you need is the list. All you need is the list, and you can just go. This idea that you can't, like, even if he's saying it's just me, but the problem is a lot of people, especially like shonen tards, are like this, where they won't get into anything more than like surface level anime because, you know, because of, you know, oh, but it's too confusing. It's it's stupid. It's like, bro, if you clearly are talking like you want to get into, like, say, UC Gundam, but you're trying so hard to find excuses of why you don't want to. And that strikes me as somebody who just wants to, would more wants to stay surface level, just watch seasonal anime. I genuinely believe for people like Trash Taste, Gundam is a little too deep for them. Like, it's too deep past surface level anime for them. Because especially UC, because it requires you to understand a timeline of events and, you know, how those events play off each other going forward as a series.
Is like hyping myself up to be like, all right, this is the day where I start my Gundam journey. And then when I look at the list, I'm just like, maybe next week.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what I mean? Literally vindicated in the next sentence.
And then there are certain other Gundams that are just separate from this main timeline, which are much more, let's say, newbie friendly. Stuff like Gundam Wing, Gundam 00.
Hold up. Gundam Wing was the first mention. Take a shot. Ugh. Okay.
What was the Desert Gundam? Fucking
Seed?
Not Seed. I call it.
I also want to point out, I think it's hilarious that they're calling Universal Century Gundam not noob friendly here, because listen, maybe I didn't make this clear going over getting into Gundam a little earlier in the stream. If you follow the chronological order for Universal Century Gundam, you are literally handheld and baby walked into the concept of the setting in episode 1, regardless as to whether you watch the origin or the original 1979 Mobile Suit Gundam first. It doesn't matter which you pick. You are baby walked into the concept of the setting, what is going on, which side is which. You know, it is like, it could not be easier to set up the understanding of, you know, what is going on. Like when those Zaku's show up in Amuro's home colony, you already understand the stakes. You already understand what's happening, and you know it all flows very cleanly into you know, setting up the story. And the idea it's confusing is just, there's no way that can confuse you. It is. I really can't get into the tourist mindset. I really can't.
Gundam Space Africa, because that's basically what it is.
Space Africa?
What?
Shit, I know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm talking about? You fucking know what I'm talking about.
Can you explain Space Africa to me?
I don't know.
I'm willing to bet they're talking about Iron Blood Orphans, because a lot of it takes place on Mars. I'm making that bet.
Oh fuck! This is gonna. It's
Space Africa.
Space Africa.
Gundam original shows. Because it was the last newbie friendly Gundam.
It's like, you can tell me that I don't need to watch any other Gundam, but something in my brain just will not allow me to watch it and not be like, oh, there's more.
Yeah, you naturally.
What's the last Gundam you watched? Because I swear you've mentioned this before.
I haven't watched any.
Iron Blood Orphans?
So I really fucking hate this. Like Connor here is talking about how, you know, Gundam is, you know, he's the one. I'm willing to bet they took the title of the video from him, and that the Gundam series is impossible to start. I'm willing to bet they took that from what he just said. It's like, He talks about how Gundam is so opaque and impossible to get into, but then fully admits is that he lacks motivation and interest. You're putting your personal issues on the series with that. Like, that's a you problem. Like, that is entirely a you problem with trying to, with finding, something as simple as episode 1, bro, too much to grasp. Like, seriously. Did they make this video because of G-Cuck? No, this is like a 2-year-old video. I want to say this was in the middle of a Witch from Mercury airing, which is why they were talking about it. G-Cuck hadn't even been announced yet. But right, so oh, and a quick aside about G-Cuck, like, or GQUUUUX, or however the hell you're supposed to pronounce it. I still don't know. That one's funny because that one is an alternate timeline to the Universal Century where Zeon basically was able to fight the Federation to a stalemate. And the funny thing is, even with the idea that it's a alternate universe to the Universal Century itself, set after the 1-year war, it still literally starts by giving you all the information you need to know as to what's going on and without confusing you. Like, unless you, I'm genuinely not grasping their ability to fuck this up this hard and think Gundam is this opaque when, like, there's no way as supposed people who talk about talk about anime so much, there's no way they haven't looked up a chronological watch order. There's literally no way. It's impossible that they haven't. Let's keep going.
Unblooded Orphans, that's it.
I watched
That's
an.
it.
Oh, is that what he's talking about?
one.
Space Africa?
By the way, look, I was right about Space Africa. It's Iron Blood Orphans.
What the fuck? Yeah, I watched like one episode of that and then I got scared and I was like, no, I'm not watching it anymore.
He watched a single episode of Iron Blood Orphans and gave up. Wow. I legitimately have no words for that. He watched one episode of Iron Blood Orphans and gave up. Bro watched an AU Gundam series that literally sets everything up for you. Holds your fucking hand getting into the anime. Gives you all the information you need to know, and then was like, nope, this is too confusing. I'm out. Like, we're reaching anime tourism levels that I didn't think were possible with these three. Never forget. When you think these three actually care about anime, always remember they had the cockroach on the show, who I will ask you to not mention his name in chat, but yeah, he was on the show. Always remember that. And they tried to say, oh, we didn't understand the optics. Yeah, you fucking did. You understood the optics. Shut the fuck up.
I was like, it's not Iron Blooded Orphans. What is it?
CJV, I genuinely hate the rule of three because it was Mother's Basement who established that. The rule of three is stupid. I genuinely think the rule of three is stupid. A show can start bad and then get good. A show can start good and then get bad. You can't judge a show by episode 3. You have to go all the way through in order to establish a proper opinion of it. Isn't that the same guy who didn't like Cowboy Bebop because it's too episodic? Kaldheim, which one are you talking about? Are you talking about Giguk or Connor? I don't know the name of the third guy. Like which guy is it? Left guy, right guy, or center guy? Like, which one are you talking about? I actually want to know which one you're talking about. And if he actually made that hot take, like, if he actually said that, holy shit, that is, well, center guy. Connor said that. He said Cowboy Bebop is too episodic. Like, why is he even watching anime at this point? Is it strictly because he lives in Japan? Like, One of them is the anime man. Well, the anime man sucks at his job. I'm just gonna say that. He fucking sucks at his job. But right, so I you know what? I have nothing to add to Connor saying Cowboy Bebop is too episodic, because that's just so unbelievably stupid and asinine that it doesn't need to be commented on. But anyway, continuing.
It was unbelievable. All right.
Okay. It's scary.
All right, let me sell you on like the new Gundam,
God.
which is
Okay.
Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. So it's a new Gundam. So it's like you.
You know my one interaction with this show, at least when I've heard of it. The last time I ever heard anything about it was when we were in the car to film with Charlie.
Right.
Which Critical. And the guy who picked us up was talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah, that's right.
I just remember sitting there and he's like, yeah, it's really, well, actually, that's not what he sounds like this, but he's like, it's just cool. They have like lesbians in this one. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah, the main girls are like a couple, right?
Yeah.
But that was
kind
all
of,
I'd heard about it. Is this guy's like, I just liked that it's like a lesbian this time.
Oh boy! Hey guys, here's a fun fact about the Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. The main characters are actually not lesbians. When the series concluded, it was confirmed they're not married or something. It is literally they are just good friends who appreciate their bond as friends, but they are not together or anything. Like they are just friends. Like. That is still fucking hilarious to me. That, you know, the Western shippers were so toxic that Sunrise themselves had to come forward and confirm, yeah, no, they're not lesbians. They're just they're just really good friends. Critical is also a tourist. Yeah, no, he is. He said some really sketch shit that I'm not going to go into here, but like, yeah. Yeah, exactly. The creators of Witch from Mercury said, no, Twitter, they're not lesbians. They are literally they're gal pals. They're just friends. That's like the same obnoxious shit with like trying to say all the Gundam Wing characters are gay. Like all the 5 Gundam pilots in that are gay. They're not gay. They were literally just designed to pander to Fujoshis, but they were not gay. They barely interacted with each other all throughout Gundam Wing. I mean, look, I joke about Ketra being gay, but that's like but he's not gay because he's gay. He's gay because he's a fop. He's not actually gay. Like, I mean, who the fuck parks their mobile suit like that in a fucking oasis, and then, you know, we're covered in fucking peacocks. Like, look, dude's probably straight, but holy shit, is he gay? Okay, you know, like Katra is like, is he gay or European song? He's basically that. Sunrise also did the lesbian mecha Cross Ange, which is actually good. I've never heard of that one, but you see, it's like the idea that, you know, but there's also a putting forward, Gundam is mecha anime is lesbians now. It's like, bro, watch more mecha anime. Holy shit. Like, seriously. Like try watching more mecha anime. Like, gay characters exist in mecha. Like, I'm pretty certain there was a lesbian couple in Iron Blood Orphans, like, if I'm remembering correctly. I might be misremembering, but I think there were. And, you know, so yeah, it's not like this is unusual for Gundam, but at the same time, you know, apply it where it actually exists. The main characters of Witch from Mercury were not gay. It has been confirmed as much. Because Bandai wants China money, even though the show says yes they. Well, the show never explicitly says yes they are. The show does this weird contrived thing about this weird contrived world building aspect about like betrothal, but the two are never in love with each other. It's like some weird world building thing. Because the world building in Witch from Mercury is kind of ass. It's never really like put together very well. So yeah, it's just. Like I said, it's strictly there to, like, you know, do some it's there to do some Yuri teasing, but objectively, canonically, they're not lesbians. Funny how I mean, yeah, there's that too. Like, Witch from Mercury is like how Gundam Wing is just the 1 year war at home, Witch from Mercury is just Revolutionary Girl Utina with less lesbians and mechs at home. But anyway, continuing.
I'm like, what?
I mean, they do like it's kind of got lesbians in it, I guess.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if that's true. That's just what he said, and I was like,
I mean, it's like lesbian, or like it's like Yuri in the same way as like most other Yuri shows, where it's just like there's just two girls that just really get along.
They're just really good friends.
They're just really good friends. Like Licorice Recoil, they're just like the main two girls. They're just really good friends. Are they actually?
I mean, I get Giguk as being like sarcastic about it, but he's true. Like a lot of anime that pander to yaoi and yuri don't actually put in, lesbian or homosexual relationships. A lot of that is just done by the viewer, like shipping. But by the way, can I make the hot take that shipping needs to be destroyed as a concept?
Actually gay? I'll never tell. We'll never tell. We'll just hint at it.
Yeah.
But,
that's up to you.
that's up to you to decide, Dojin artist. But no, so yeah, this is a completely newbie-friendly Gundam, so you can get into this knowing nothing about Gundam. I think it's designed that way as well.
Well, I mean, that's going to be hard for you. That's going to be hard for you there when Connor openly said he was intimidated by one episode of Iron Blood Orphans, which was also newbie friendly.
And one thing that Gundam has always been, like, one of the main selling points about Gundam has always been the politics, right? And normally, a lot of times, it's...
Oh, I mean, that's also a lie. Gundam is not inherently political. Like, does Universal Century get political? I mean, at times, yeah. But, it's very much in that actual good political writing versus, heavy-handed woke ideology shoved in your face. I'll also say there's plenty of times where Universal Century is not political. And, I mean, are you going to look me dead in the face and tell me something like G Gundam or Build Fighters is political? Like, G Gundam is DBZ with giant robots. Build Fighters is Yu-Gi-Oh! with Gundam kits. Gundam isn't inherently political, and it really doesn't sell itself on the politics. It sells itself on the storytelling.
Been about the politics of war, right? You have two warring nations, and that's been a lot of like mecha in general. What I really liked about Gundam: The Witch from Mercury is that it focuses more on like corporate politics. So it's set in this world where this whole corporation, like mega corporation, controls basically every kind of giant robot, every mecha that's made.
So
right?
Google.
Huh?
Google.
So Google.
Okay, I have to... I actually don't, Megaman, you make a good point. Yeah, G-Witch is literally just we have Gunbuster at home.
Fucking, like, imagine if, like, Elon Musk Bezos. Imagine if Amazon took over the world, which they're basically, and just had a monopoly on giant robots. Okay. That would be this.
I'm going to be completely honest. If Tesla started building battle mechs, I'd be totally cool with that. But Elon, if for some reason you're watching my stream, fucking do it. Do it. Start building mechs. We like mechs.
It's like corporation.
Right.
And within this corporation, there's like branch companies that vie for power within this one giant mega corporation, right? And obviously every different branch companies makes different types of giant robots and different mechas and stuff like that. And obviously there's a special kind of robots called Gundams using gun technology that obviously is like super fucking OP and stuff like that. But it got so OP that they banned the technology in this company by kind of like killing everyone off and stuff like that.
Yeah. You could
Actually, minor aside, I'm gonna quick go into because that's the kind of thing, like in the setting, what is a Gundam? Like in the Universal Century stuff, Gundams are basically like they're like the test bed fighters and tanks and vehicles that they make for the military, where they got all the top of the line shit in them, but they never mass produce them. They're there to test the technology. Like generally speaking, that's what a Gundam is in the Universal Century. It varies up a lot in the AU Gundams, but in UC that's the general idea. It's kind of funny because when Yoshiyuki Tomino made Gundam, he wanted the Gundam to be like drab military gray in color, but the producers wanted it to be more toyetic, so it got colored like red, white, blue, and gold. But funnily enough, if you've seen a lot of like say experimental fighter planes built by like Lockheed Martin and shit, they often have outlandish, garish colors like that. So it's kind of on point in a weird way. Thunderbolt, Char, Zeta, Unicorn, Sentinel are all explore the military-industrial complex. Yeah, like Thunderbolt with it. Like the idea he's saying that corporate politics is somehow new to Gundam when you have like Anaheim Electronics and UC is literally supplying both sides of a war with mobile suits to war profiteer, or like the what the fuck? What would they call it? The Moore Foundation or something in Thunderbolt, which is like, bringing out all that Area 51 black site shit, like the full armor Thunderbolt Gundam and all that. Like this is like this. These are not new concepts to Gundam. It's been done before, and honestly, done better than Witch from Mercury did it. All right.
You could have just like made them unemployed, but
yeah, exactly.
Let's take it out.
Just Men in Black, though.
Yeah, exactly. And I really liked the fact that they didn't go down they didn't just go down the war route again, because I found like Gundam, when I see Gundam and I see like another war story, I'm like, okay, I've seen it before. In fact, I've seen it so many fucking times before. But just seeing them still have a show like steeped in politics, but just shift it into like corporate politics and just like.
You don't like Gundam when it's about war because you've seen it before. You can't see it right now, but I'm staring at the screen in disbelief. Bro acts like there's one fucking story to be told by war as a theme. Bro acts like there's one story to be told, or one angle to approach, or you can't have variety in stories about war, or like there's nothing of value to be told in stories about war. Like holy shit. Just holy fucking shit. Like, how do you get through life with this kind of attitude about writing? Like, how do you make it through life like this? Like, is he high or stupid? I think both, maybe a little bit.
Vying for like power within this big mega corporation. I thought, yeah, that's a really interesting take. Like seeing, like one scene that stands out to me is like one of the main characters, one of the main girls has to like pitch this company idea to all of like these mega corporations. So to all the leaders of all the branch companies, be like, please invest in my company. We are going to make they basically do a pit like a fucking Shark Tank investor pitch just with fucking giant robots and Gundam, and I'm like, this is actually pretty cool because that's an original take on Gundam.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, no, it's not. No, it's not. Because we've been over that. Corporate politics are pretty central to the themes of Gundam in the past. Like, shit, there's a whole fucking arc in 0083 that's about the crew needing to go to Anaheim Electronics to get their Gundam repaired. And then, the politics of like, say they don't want to like, and then later on in the same series, like how they don't want to use the, they don't want to give the main characters one of their Gundams in order to beat the Zeon's attack on Earth. And it's like, it's a whole, like, corporate politics are not new to Gundam. It's a whole, remember, all of these guys have admitted the bid episode was bad. Yeah, that too. But it's like, these guys have admitted they haven't watched Gundam, but they're talking about it like they're experts, like they know what Gundam has been about, what has gone on it, what is like, and they've said before they don't watch Gundam because it's too, air quotes, impossible to start. Like, I really don't know how their audience doesn't notice this. Like, that they'll say, oh, we've never watched Gundam. By the way, we will now be the authorities on what are new concepts to present to Gundam. Like,
and
they've run out of like normal story points. They're like, Shark Tank, fuck it, fuck it. Let's do anime Shark Tank with Max. What did we go wrong?
That sounds epic.
And it's just a lot of these branch companies trying to sabotage each other, and trying to make like the best giant robots they can. It's written by the same person who wrote Code Geass as well.
Okay.
So it's got a bit of like high school hijinks in it, but that's what you expect.
I'm gonna be completely honest. The high school hijinks were one of the things that brought Witch from Mercury down the most. Like, if I'm being honest, it would have been better if it was just like regular corporate warfare without a bunch of fucking high school girls having high school drama with each other. That legitimately that was one of the things that brought down a lot of the world building from G-Witch.
Like Code Geass.
Why the fuck is that high school high?
He's 60% less excited to watch it now.
Because
they just made it sound sick, and then you're like, by the way, they're in high school.
I did need to mention that because.
But I mean, hey, Connor, I'll just add this in. I don't know how to tell you this. Most anime is aimed at a high school audience, so while I don't necessarily agree, the idea of it was, the idea of having it in G-Witch was a good idea. I will say maybe that's why. Because also I'm gonna point out the utter hilarity of them shit talking Gundam the way they are when I'm pretty certain if you look behind Giguk's left shoulder, I'm pretty certain that's the Penelope from Hathaway. Like, so they'll put a Gundam model kit on their fucking, on their little background display to convince people they like anime and they like Gundam, but they'll do nothing talking about how they don't watch Gundam because it's too opaque. But then talk about Gundam how they're experts. Like, holy shit, dude.
They needed to add giant robots fighting somehow, because it's a fucking
why high
Gundam.
school?
Huh?
Why high school?
It's a high school where basically it's a high school.
Is it like a business school?
It's a privileged high school where daughters and sons of all like the leaders of all these mega corporations kind of like send their kids to this one school, and how they settle any dispute in the school is by setting a duel.
I like that.
They set.
We should bring that back.
That's how the term starts off. Is that one of the girls is betrothed to one of the kids in betrothed to one of the kids in one of the other schools.
Getting married. Nice.
Yeah. And then there's this main girl who's comes from like a peasant family, poor girl.
Just like me for real.
She just like me for real. She challenges the guy to a duel, and by winning the duel, she inadvertently also means that the other girl is betrothed to her as well.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the rules of the duel that was set.
Like, are they like?
I want to point out, but yeah, because this is kind of turning into an improvised G-Witch review. Because I mean, I'm a little disappointed in this video so far because I was expecting them to be talking about getting into Gundam, and all they're doing is shilling G-Witch. Like, stay on the topic of your fucking video title. Like, holy shit, it's not hard. But one of the things that's actually kind of what I'm finding funny here is how the fact they came up with such a contrived way to put high school students in the mobile suits is another thing that brought G-Witch down. Like, generally speaking, if a kid ends up in a Gundam, it's because he either stole it or was forced into fighting by circumstance. Meanwhile, in G-Witch, it's literally like, we're just going to give these high school students giant fucking robots to fight duels in, duels in high school, because why the fuck not? It's like legitimately stupid. It's one of the things that makes the world building for G-Witch kind of bad. Wasn't her mom like a CEO? I don't quite remember. I'll admit I kind of glazed over G-Witch, but it's such a stupid world building element to try to get, high school students into the mech when there have been better methods of doing that in Gundam that, you know, can also lead to good, you know, good, like, you know, thematics within the show and good storytelling and character development. People forget that military equipment does not have keys or locks. I mean, yeah, that's a running joke when we're watching Gundam on our Discord, is that, you know, like we've had, you know, Camille, Bedan, and Judo Ashta now stealing Gundams, and it's like, we need to put the club on the fucking Mobile Suit's controls. Like, holy shit, it's happened twice now. But anyway, let's keep going.
Physical jewels, or are they like, how many stocks and bonds can I buy in 5 minutes?
No, that's the physical, like, giant robot jewels.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like they added that because they're like, we can't make an entire Gundam just on stocks.
They should do that. They should try it.
Fuck, we need to add giant robot fights in this somehow.
I feel like Gundam fans will, though. They will watch stocks. As long as you say they're trading robots, I think Gundam fans are like, okay.
It's like, my model has Tesla technology.
You know, now that I think about it, corporate politics shenanigans are actually a major part of Unicorn. Because we're going to be starting Unicorn on Saturday on the Discord, and I know people from the Discord are watching, I can't talk about it further, but there's a heavy element of like corporate politics and corruption in Unicorn as like an overarching theme. So once again, yeah, if you just watched Unicorn, you would have seen this shit. Like you said, G-Witch is literally just a retelling of Revolutionary Girl Utina. Yeah, right. Except, you know, rather than, you know, a bitch transforming into a car, she pilots a Gundam. And C, do you think they would have insurance on how much they steal those things? I mean, right? Like, don't forget Garode Ran literally stealing the Gundam X. Like, listen, if you want to watch a good UC underrated Universal Century Gundam series, and I mean actually underrated, watch After War Gundam X. I'll just recommend that one right away. You can just, that one, again, that's an AU Gundam. It's its own once and done setting. You can just dive right in. It explains everything you need to know, like, right at the start.
Watches the stocks rise.
Yeah, but honestly, it's giant robot fights, fucking amazing. It's one of the prettiest looking mecha shows I've seen in a long time.
Okay.
Production values off the scale, but also I think more people need to watch it. And I think people are scared just because it's Gundam. And I'm just like, just fucking watch it. If you ever have been curious about Gundams, or if it's just been a long time since you've watched a giant robot show, I think this is like the perfect show for that.
Yeah, I think another big reason why people are scared to get into Gundam is, as you said, like, it's a lot of them are kind of like the same themes and like the same story, just like repackaged, right?
Yeah.
Like,
they are literally not. Okay, now I guess we're getting now into the meat of the video, which is where they're saying Gundam is impossible to watch. Like, you encounter so many different kinds of themes. And like the themes we'll go with Universal Century Gundam. We'll focus on that. Like, there's so many different themes in Universal Century Gundam. Like, I went over the overarching themes of UC Gundam when I was explaining it, but there's so many overarching themes, like, not overarching themes, but like themes within each given series. It's like they're talking about it like it's just, oh, we're doing war again. It's like, that's not how writing works. No series, no well-written series worth its salt has a solitary theme. All kinds of themes are explored, and UC Gundam explores so many different themes, and even when it retreads like basic thematics, it does so in different ways and different different takes. Like look, the original Mobile Suit Gundam and Zeta Gundam, its direct sequel, are both have an overarching theme of war, but the way both of them approach the theme of war is so different from one another that like saying, oh, I basically watched Zeta Gundam because I watched Mobile Suit Gundam is like, that makes you the king of missing the point. And that's when don't forget, there's also when Mobile Suit Gundam isn't getting into war. So yeah, honestly, like the Gundam series that tend to retread things actually tend to be the AUs more than UC, and those are generally the AUs I don't like. Like Gundam Wing, for example, tries to do the 1 Year War from Universal Century with Char's counterattack like tacked on in like the last 5 to 10 episodes, and that one I don't like because of it. But Gundam series talking about war are not like that. And if I'm gonna be completely honest, I feel like they're the cynical part of me feels like they're deliberately trying to dress down prior Gundam entries to prop up Witch from Mercury, because Witch from Mercury is to them, and they think of this in a positive light, a woke Gundam anime. That's what I legitimately feel like they're doing here. Because nobody who knows about anime can be this stupid about Gundam unless you're deliberately trying to make the rest of Gundam look bad compared to Witch from Mercury. That's what I feel like they're doing here. Like, this is deliberately misrepresenting Gundam to make a Gundam that suits their politics look better by comparison. Which is why they're saying, oh, this Gundam is easy to get into, but that the rest of that 40 years of Gundam, yeah, fuck that. It's too opaque, too complex. Just don't watch it. That's what I feel like they're doing here.
As much as I really enjoyed Iron-Blooded Orphans, I will admit I watched it and I was just like, yep, this is the Gundam show. It's a Gundam show.
I think that's also the same reason why I never got as invested in 86 as I thought I should have. I mean, I know your opinions on 86.
I got.
Wait, 86? What the fuck's he talking? What the fuck is 86? What's he mean by 86? Like, I legit don't know what he's talking about. I'll have to look it up later. Whatever. But, yeah, it's like... even saying Iron Blood Orphans is just a retread of war is bad is like... Holy shit. That is missing the point of Iron Blood Orphans. They're you notice they legit just went from Iron Blood Orphans is good to wow, Iron Blood Orphans is too opaque and it's just bad because it retreads things. Watch the one with the woke lesbians. That one's good. Jesus Christ.
God, I got tried in the court of public opinion for saying that shit was,
exactly.
That shit was
yeah, I mean, I enjoyed 86, but it was just seeing another mecha show about war, and I'm just like, okay, I've seen this before. You know? I've seen it. It's different flavors of the same thing, and not saying that that's a bad thing, but it's just
But you're literally saying it's a bad thing. You're literally saying it's a bad thing.
Story that I've seen before, so I really appreciate it.
This is that thing this is that thing tourists like to do, where they'll say they'll try to frame something as an objective argument and then tack on well, it's my opinion at the end. It's like you have not made an opinion. You have tried to make an objective statement about something and then tacked on it's just my opinion at the end to try to cover your ass from people who rightfully point out that you're fucking wrong. And yeah, it's I don't know what the fuck they're talking about with 86 in relation to Gundam. I think they're talking about Gundam, maybe, because it sounds like they were, but I'm convinced now they're just dressing down Gundam, or they're dressing down the entirety of Gundam just to prop up Witch from Mercury. When Witch from Mercury wasn't even good, it was like I said, it was at best mid.
Gundam the Witch from Mercury, just taking a different route to giant robots, but still making it political, which is one thing I've always liked.
Here's the question: is it canon with the entire universe, or is it a spin-off?
Okay. Yeah, it's its own separate entity, which is why I say it's you can jump on as a newbie knowing nothing about Gundam, because it's got nothing to do with.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I probably won't watch that.
Yeah. As soon as I saw as soon as I mentioned high school, the lights from Connor's eyes just
okay. You literally said Iron Blood Orphans was like that too, and then went back on it just now to prop up Witch from Mercury again. And then on top of that, you literally say, "Oh, this is the woke lesbian girl boss Gundam anime that does things different, and that's why it's good." I'm not gonna watch it. They literally end the video on, "I'm not gonna watch it anyway." Holy Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus Christ,
fucking
I was
dumb.
already,
Smile on his
I was
face.
already kind of like, it sounds okay, and then you
Yeah.
mentioned that, I'm like, no, I'm done. I don't want to watch that.
Why do I expose myself to this shit? That was, oh my god, that was awful. That was just awful. Why? Just fucking why? Literally, okay. I thought they were undersell. Okay, it's like they didn't just lie through their teeth about Gundam being, you know, air quotes, impossible to get into, but then they were legit like, oh yeah, not only is Gundam impossible to get into, it's boring, it sucks, don't watch it. Watch G-Witch instead. And it's like, just shaking my damn head right now in real life. Shaking my damn head. And this is why, and all this is done, all a video like this is done, is prevent people from getting into Gundam. That's all this does. This isn't informing people to watch something. This is telling people, hey, this series is super opaque and super boring and overly complicated, and don't get into it. And then you're not going to get people to watch Gundam doing this. This is like the worst thing you can do for a long-running anime series, is try to present it like this to people. Like, you're legit, you're somebody, there are people out there, I guarantee this, who were thinking of getting into Gundam, watched this video, and gave up on it. And honestly, Trash Taste, fuck you, all three of you, for doing that. I'm drinking straight out of the bottle now. Jesus Christ, I need a stiff drink. IBO was one of the most different Gundam series in terms of setting, and they say it as it's the same as the others. Idiots. Yes, exactly. Like that either proves they didn't watch Iron Blood Orphans, they didn't watch other Gundams besides Iron Blood Orphans, or they didn't watch either. It's like, pick your poison at that rate. People found a clip of Joey propping AI being a good replacement for the creative industry while having Connor beside him, a voice actor. Man, well, I don't know which one Joey is, but I've got my opinions on AI. I think it serves a purpose. It's great for shit posting. I don't think it'll ever replace real artists. I think real artists need to calm the hell down about that. But that said, saying that with a voice actor friend right next to you is fucking hilarious. If Crunchyroll made a video about how to get into Gundam, you're done something up. Did they make a video about getting into Gundam? I mean, did they? Like, I mean, I wouldn't trust a guide from Crunchyroll, if I'm being honest. Like, well, like I wouldn't trust any guide from Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll fucking sucks. Why would you trust Crunchyroll and their opinion on anything? You know, literally a company that robbed money from the people who fucking, you know, rob money from their customers, you know, to make fucking High Guardian Spice. Like, remember that shit? I remember that shit. I remember. I got a long memory. But you know, like we invest our money back into the Japanese anime industry. Hey, guess what? Crunchyroll doesn't invest their money back into the anime industry. They keep it for themselves, and then they made High Guardian Spice with it, and that was fucking garbage. And if you think High Guardian Spice is good, fuck you. You're an awful person. Yep, a while ago. Hold on, everyone. Give me a moment here. I'm gonna. We may be extending the reaction part of the stream a little longer here. Hold on, everyone. Let me look this up. Oh shit! This is like an hour long. This is like an hour long. I don't know if I want to watch. I don't know if I want to watch this on stream today. Because yeah, it's like 4 years ago. I looked it up. It was made 4 years ago, and yeah, it's an hour long. Like, I don't know if I don't know if I want to conquer that. I don't know if I want to try and, you know, conquer that today, because fuck, I'd like to do something other than watch bad media takes. You know what? I'm gonna save this one another time. Save to watch later. There we go. All right. Switch back to here for now, because holy shit. Get the stream music up and running again. Watch Zorak if you want an overview to see if a series is worth you specifically watching. He's done a series on almost every single series. I will keep that name in mind, Deadeye. Thank you. I imagine it would be less intimidating to get into Gundam if you explain how it's like Final Fantasy works. Well, I mean, that's what I was trying to do before the before that bit of the stream. Like, yeah, it's like just Gundam it's not hard to get into. Anybody who overcomplicates it is legit like selling you snake oil. They're trying to make it sound more complicated than it really is. Hey Mary, how you doing? Remember these guys were shilling a Netflix anime about their fights being hyped, but the anime was infamous for awful animation, trash taste, at most is just a bunch of sellouts. I mean, they're tourists. They're anime tourists. That's really what it boils down to. Sorry. I had to drink something. Save the Roga Rapid Vid crappy fixing monster. Oh yeah, let me look that up. Let me look that up. I will probably shit on that another time, because I love shitting on kaiju. Their name is accurate? Yeah, no, their name is very accurate. All right, let's look this up. Ruga Rabid Monsterverse. The flaws of the Monsterverse. That one's like 20. That was like 22 minutes. Yeah, I'll add that onto the I'll add it on to watch later. Yeah, like shit. You know what? Hold on. There's something I want to look up. I'm a little nervous to watch it, because last time I put a video on with like some kind of like music in the background, I got shellacked by copyright and had to edit the video to cut it out. You know what? I'm gonna put it on anyway. Hold on. I'm gonna put it on anyway. Fuck it. Monsterverse being slandered is not tolerated. We do not tolerate that. We do not tolerate Monsterverse slander. Monsterverse slander is like haram. It is no bueno. It is all that stuff. Right. So this is something I want to show y'all. Just because I think it's neat. It's so remember when hold on. Stream music, stop. Remember when the what is it, the 28 years later trailer came out, and they had that playing of the poem Boots, and then people were doing like Helldivers edits and shit of it. Someone made a fucking Universal Century Gundam edit to Boots, and it's really fucking good. So I'm just gonna be quiet for the next minute and 25 seconds, and we're gonna watch it. This is actually really fucking good.
7, 6, 11, 5, 9 and 20 miles today, 4, 11, 17, 32 the day before. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Don't look at what's in front of you. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. Men go mad with watching them. There's no discharge in the war. If your eyes drop, they will get the top of you. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Pride, to think of something different. Oh, my God, me from going lunatic. Moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. 7, 6, 11, 5, 4, 17, 32 the day before.
I'm gonna pause it there. That's the guy who did the video. His YouTube channel is named after him. Listen, go to his channel. Give him a view. It's a great edit. I fucking love it. Yeah, like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, I will fully say Gundam is not a fully grimdark edit, or grimdark edit. Grimdark, UC Gundam is not fully grimdark. It's really more noble bright, but holy shit, does it get dark at times. Like, honestly, I think that, what would be the most grimdark that, like the most, ends on a grimdark note Gundam anime? Probably, I'd say, at least as far as I've watched so far, 0080 probably is the most grimdark. Just because of the way it ends. I would definitely say if you want to watch some really fucking dark and violent Gundam, watch 0080. 0080 War in the Pocket. It is, bring tissues. That's all I'm going to say. Bring some tissues. Victory. I mean, I know Victory gets dark, but it ultimately ends on a hopeful note. Like, that's kind of the point of, it's like kind of the point. Like that's what the series opening Stand Up to the Victory is about, and it's really like, it really, I know, sets forth the theme of Victory Gundam, where no matter how dark it gets, keep going. You know, keep going, don't give up. Would you consider Evangelion grimdark? I'd consider the original series and End of Evangelion grimdark. I'd consider Rebuild noble bright. I'd consider Rebuild noble bright. It shows what Gundam is more than. This shows what Gundam is more. This shows what Gundam is more of what it is. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, Gundam gets fucking dark. So that edit is very of Boots to Universal Century is very on point, even if it's not necessarily showing a lot of the subtleties therein. But yeah. Thunderbolt. Oh no, Thunderbolt's extremely grimdark, but because Thunderbolt, the OVA currently ends on a cliffhanger because they were waiting for the last third of the manga to finish, which it has now. I haven't actually read the ending to the Thunderbolt manga, so I can't comment on the ending. War in the Pocket or Igloo with the Fed soldiers or Zeta. Actually, a Zeta ends on a pretty grimdark note, but it also transitions right into Double Zeta, which is a direct continuation of Zeta's story, and the ending of that is more uplifting. Rebuild is basically Shinji getting his shit together, by getting groomed by his mom's friend. I mean, I wouldn't call it that. Definitely wouldn't call it that. Like. But it is Shinji getting his shit together. It's Shinji learning to be a super robot protagonist rather than a real robot protagonist. That's basically what it is. I personally only really call End of Evangelion grimdark. Even OG ended somewhat hopefully. I mean, yeah, it did. It did, but Anno was off his meds for a while then. So, yeah, let's see, back to here. There we go. You think it's still ongoing? I was under the impression the Thunderbolt Gundam manga ended. Hold on. In 2022, it entered its final stage. But In October the same year, the author stated that he planned to continue the manga for another 5 to 6 years. Ah, damn. It's hold on. As of March 19th, 2025, it's nearing its end. Well, okay, I'm getting conflicting reports there, but look, I just want him to adapt the last part of the story arc from the OVA. It's now in the grip. Oh, so it's just like going all through. It's just like continuing all throughout. The Universal Century, like going on in the background. Oh, neat. I know for a fact the writer confirmed that as of the OVA coming out, Thunderbolt is officially canon. I remember that because I remember he wrote the manga as like a 1 year war AU. But apparently when it became a manga, it became canon. So, yeah, like that's what he said. Like that's what he said on the matter. You got so many manga to grab. Like, look, man. I'm so desperate for fucking. I'm so desperate for the crew from F91 to get their continuation that I'm gonna pick up the Crossbone Gundam manga just to read that. Like, believe me. Hold on. Let me turn the stream music back on. There we go. The Grips Air version of the Thunderbolt suits are just Kino. You post them in the Discord? Yeah, thanks, man. That's what I mean. I haven't read the last couple books. Got as far as the IO and the new type in the Zeong. Oh, neat. The Zeta and Hyakushiki show up in Thunderbolt. Oh, that's interesting. Seabook's voice actor is dead. Seriously, unlikely to get Crossbone. I mean, listen. If they were, they've replaced voice actors for anime before, so I don't think Seabook's VA being dead is shows we'll never get the Crossbone anime. Still, that sucks though. Like, fucking, fucking rip. The voice actor dying. But yeah, no, they'll. I mean, shit, they'll replace voice actors when they're alive if they have to. I'm pretty certain Amuro Ray's original voice actor actually got replaced because of some sketchy shit he pulled in real life. And that's the ultimate irony. Everyone makes the memes about Char Aznable being a groomer, but then, it was like Amuro Ray's voice actor that got caught doing a bunch of sketchy sexual shit with someone and got him kicked off of voice acting. Char got a new VA for G-Cucks. Yeah, didn't he retire? Didn't his voice actor just straight up retire? Like, I legit don't know if he retired or not. Char was the good guy all along. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, remember the original draft for Mobile Suit Gundam had Amuro dying halfway through, and then Char would become the main character. 3 what? Gotcha. What are you talking about? 3 abortions. Hold on. Amuro Ray voice actor. I know he did some sketchy shit. Toru Furuya. In June 22nd, 2024, Furuya was announced that he would step down from his roles in Detective Conan and One Piece. Bandai, hold on. Furuya posted a public apology on Twitter confirming a recent report in an interview with Shukan Bunshun magazine in which it was reported that he had an extramarital affair with a female fan 37 years his junior for around 4.5 years until September 2023. He admitted to striking her once, as well as pressuring her into an abortion. Because of this, his showroom program was abruptly canceled, and he was dropped from Metaphor Fantasio and had all his characters getting recast. In June 22nd, 2024, Furuya announced he would step down from his roles in Detective Conan and One Piece. On June 28th, 2024, Bandai Namco began considering to employ a new voice actor to portray Amuro Ray for later works in the Gundam series in the wake of Furuya's affair being made public. On October 4th, 2024, Toei Animation announced that the role of Yamcha had been recast to Ryota Suzuki from Dragon Ball Daima for Dragon Ball Daima. Jesus. I knew it was bad, but holy fuck. Amuro, it turns out Amuro Ray was the real groomer all along. Char beat the allegations, everyone. Oh man, like, Jesus, that's depressing. Like, it's just like Seabook's VA dying, Amuro's VA being a groomer. Like, that's just fucking depressing. Like, goddamn, man. I mean, that said, at least he got, you know, I mean, he may not be in prison for it, but, oh.
Call in the reinforcements.
Oh, hey, Ash, how you doing? How you doing? How was playing Suikoden? Well, hey, good to hear. Good to hear. But yeah, man, like I said, that's depressing, man. But at the very least, Char Aznable beat the allegations. I need to make that meme of allegations beaten, but it's just Char Aznable. All right. You know what? I was planning on maybe playing something, but Seabook is dead. His VA, his old VA is, yeah. If they were gonna do a Crossbone adaptation, they'd have to get a new new VA. But yeah, I was thinking of maybe like, you know, maybe playing something, but I am going to instead raid on somebody now. I'm gonna end the stream early tonight. Who is currently streaming? All right, you know what? We're gonna raid onto Mizumatari. They're playing he's playing Wilds right now. So hold on, raid Mizumatari. How the fuck do you spell that? VT. Okay. Invalid username. Raid. Oh, Mizu Tamari. I spelled it wrong because I think I'm dyslexic. All right. The raid is forming, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm even playing more Monster Hunter Wilds because I have to fucking beat that game yet. And then I'll be playing MechWarrior 5 on Friday. So yeah, everyone look forward to that. I will catch y'all later. Take care, everyone. Have a good evening. And yeah, later.